Pete's not been lucky, and he doesn't handle the unluckiness all that well, and undoubtedly he can be his own worst enemy.
Because Pete arrived 2 hours late, the judge has now postponed the trial for a further 2 months.
Because he couldn't come inside, it was hilarious. What you in for? Hiya, hon. It was just a farce. They were furious that I was so late. That got it off on a bad foot.
Aside from upsetting the judge, Pete has also learned that Michael's previous witness statement is now being used as the key piece of evidence against his case.
And it's not that I'm angry with you, but your statement was the one that tipped the whole case. Yours is the biggest statement, but that's by the by. That's the way they've handled it. So consequently, you've withdrawn your statement and the CPS haven't acted on it. It's a comedy of errors.
It's just to do with the restaurant I used to work in, and Pete went in there and, you know, his behaviour was perceived to be threatening.
I don't think there are many couples that have been together with the intensity that we have, where it hasn't ended up with a punch in the face at some point. That's just my idea of romance.
I think anyone who imagines that there's a pussycat underneath the iron is wrong, which is not to say that he's not sensitive, but he's a tough cookie, and he's had to be.
Basically, a lot of celebrities now in this country are getting away with a lot of things, and you've got a minor allegation against you and you're being made an example of in a way. I think the basis of police stations is they sit on duty all night and they watch programmes like Big Brother and they make assumptions about you as a character. Oh, come on, that situation with the fur coat, was that not a taste of things to come? Who the fuck gets a fur coat seized by the police?
Pete's wardrobe is obviously vast, and he'd be lost without his expensive, gorgeous clothes, and it takes a lot of money to look like Pete.
But Pete doesn't have a lot of money now. With mounting legal bills and the cost of surgery, Pete's having to find new ways to raise cash.
When times got tough, it was desperate measures. He had to sell his designer clothes. A girl's gotta do what a girl's gotta do.
We just didn't have any choice. It beats going around trying to get a job, doesn't it? You can sell a load of clothes, get enough money to sift through more bills, and then sell some more. So this is just kind of expensive crap, really. People might look at this and think it's a silly old thing, but it's by a designer called Stephen Sprouse, who's dead now. But things with all these big graffiti letters on are hugely collectible. He did a tour in the 80s. I don't know the name of it, but these were really famous. These were part of the tour. They're on one of his videos. Vivienne Westwood things, just kind of thrown in a big lump. This is a coat by a guy called Lee Bowery. Apparently there's only 2 of them. One for Pete and one for Holly Johnson. Oh, because of the pins. It's so heavy, it's unbelievable. One of the patches is somewhere, actually, you know, from the Spin Me. That was just chucked in a bag. It's worth a fortune. But you can imagine how much this would be worth to people that... But you get the idea. This is the Spin Me dressing gown with all the big things on it. It's a bit lived in. And these magazines even, a lot of them are first copies, so they're worth a lot of money. So that's the problem in this place. Even if you think it's rubbish, it's probably the first one, so it's expensive rubbish, so you end up not being able to throw anything. We've got so much more than this, loads more. It could fill this place 3 times over.
With Pete back from his disastrous court appearance, he's been ordered to wear a tagging device and follow a strict 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. curfew.
Done. More or less. So there's a lot of people out there wearing these. I'm not alone in the world.
Oh, God. Well, we've got 80,000 in our region.
Shit, so part of a tag support team.
The thing hurt my ankle. It was uncomfortable. I had to walk around with it on. I didn't think it was a camp accessory.
Hi, how are you? Hi.
Determined not to let the tag weigh him down, Pete calls a meeting with his PR managers to get his career back on track.
I just need to know what the situation is. When can you work or...?
Well, I can work, yeah, but I'm not allowed out after 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah, well, you won't be doing anything after 10 o'clock. So you're basically going to be tagged until September on a curfew, is that right?
Yeah, and I'm not finding that funny right now. I'm still in shock.
Yeah, but at least you're not in Wandsworth. I just want to run all these ideas past you. And if you say, yeah, fine, I'll do all those and I'll get them all sorted out for you. Right, this is quite an interesting one. Okay, it's to do with the London dungeons. They're running something called Freak Week.
I just bid in one, please.
Freak Week. They want you to be a judge, basically. You've got to pick out, you know, who is the freak you need. And I just thought that's quite a fun thing to do, you know. But I mean, there's obviously loads of interview requests for you, some of them on radio and stuff. But this is another interesting one. There's a musical in London called Gabba Gabba Hey. I don't know if anyone's heard of it. They want you to do 2 shows. One show's at 3:30 and one show's at 7:30
Well, like on stage?
Yeah, on stage, in a musical. They've got Angie Bowie, Hugh Cornwell from the Stranglers, and Tony James is in it.
the old punk ones, I'm fine with that.
Plus a young cast of new performers. Hugh Cornwell is playing Johnny Thunders.
Fantastic.
And basically what they want you to do is they want you to replace Hugh Cornwell because he's not going to be in there for those 2 days.
Johnny Thunders.
You'll be Johnny Thunders, yeah.
When I'm working, there is a certain craziness about me. I recently heard that somebody who worked with me said, you know, oh, Pete was really crazy at that time. I think, you're lying, bitch. I wasn't crazy at that time. I was just working.
Yeah. Thomas, coming over you, really. Thank you.
See you later.
Everything can be perceived as crazy. It's not all crazy. Some of it's me, some of it's madness.
It's 4 weeks later, and there's trouble at home. Michael is on the phone to Pete's solicitor.
Well, they can force their way in. Well, they can just say, just go now, even if we've got nowhere to go. Oh, that's fucking ridiculous. You can't go for housing when you're Pete Burns. How stupid is that? Do you know what I mean? It's bollocks. It just doesn't, the same rules don't apply. It's just not possible. The latest today is because there's a bankruptcy order against the house and also a repossession order. And we've had an eviction notice to be evicted on Monday, which they more than likely will. We'll just have to shut the curtains and do our usual behind the couch.
I had to sell my catalogue because of tax problems. We didn't pay tax for years. I don't think I'm the only artist that's ever had to do it. But I can always remember seeing the other casualties, the 80s, and, you know, seeing them go down the plug hole and thinking, well, I'm all right, I've always got that catalogue. But it had to go, or the tax was going to take the house from under us.
We're going to get evicted.
More than likely, yeah. You serious? No, Pete, I'm joking. Of course I'm serious.
Have you got a colostomy bag?
You know, I don't care if we have anywhere to stay initially or anything to take with us, but if you're thrown out of here and it gets to the evening, your tagging device isn't in operation, you go back to jail. It's that simple, Pete. It's not funny.
I'm not thinking it's funny. What we're supposed to do, lie on the floor? And...
Nothing we can do, because again, it's been left too late.
Honestly, we're at a point where we just feel like running away. We really do, because the problems are insurmountable. And he's
Well, they're not insurmountable.
Well, I think they are.
I was getting a lot of letters in Wandsworth, and, you know, everyone's saying, oh, you're really, really strong, keep fighting, keep fighting. And I think that's the misconception people have about me. I realise that I'm actually really quite fragile. I don't want car crash TV. I don't want people to know that I fell to pieces. There's a lot about me I don't want people to know, but it's out there in the public domain, and there's rumour, there's lies, there's speculation, and there's truth.
Coming up, can Pete and Michael stave off eviction?
Today I just felt like lying on the floor and screaming. And this is supposed to be a documentary that shows the transformation to triumph.
Pete Burns has been living under the threat of bankruptcy for months. But just when it looked like he was going to lose his house, good news arrives.
We didn't get evicted, we sold the house. And as hellish as it was, and as relieved as I am that it's sold because we needed it to, I'm kind of really sad too. Because it was ours, and it was our home, and it's full of memories. You're kidding me?
You've got to take the mirror off to get to the boat.
So it's practically impossible?
I would say so.
Bye-bye, mirror.
The important things, laptop, electricals, champagne. This is like the heaviest bag in the history of heavy bags.
Bye, house.
It's a stepping stone into